Alrighty, everybody, welcome into the collector's domain. Now, I want to talk about some things I've seen recently in the community of collecting and nerd hobbies, and Pokemon being particularly one of those. Uh, so in this video, I just want to go over a few subjects that I think I need to get off my chest, and I think you guys will agree with me on that. Those of you that watch this will agree with me on what I'm about to say. Now, I've been collecting Pokemon for a few months now, the cards, a couple other things. I just collected a few the Pokeball tins, and they're pretty awesome. I like this. I have them sitting on my desk right now, just side by side, just in a really cool spot. They're they're a cool item to look at, and they're just cool in general. And I've always thought these were interesting items in the show. And in the games and all that, I thought they were one of the cooler items of, the Pokemon franchise, outside of the Pokemon himself, which is a living, breathing animal, technically, when it comes down to it. Uh, so we have our own pets for that as an example. Now, I want to talk about pricing on some of this stuff and where people are ripping people off. Okay? Now, when Pokemon first started, it started off as a hobby that was you open a pack and you pull a really nice card out of it. And now we're at the point where packs are like $10 per booster pack. When $20 back then would get you a little bit more. Now, depending on where you go, you can find the, collectible tins and things as such at a very affordable price. I got each of my Pokeball tins at $15 a pop, and that's including, the packs inside, the 3 booster packs and the stickers that come with it inside of it. And it just really makes me, think, who gave these ideas to these people to raise the price up? Now, I know scamming is a big problem. I know scammers, I know scalpers and all that. That's a big issue within these communities. But when it comes down to it, and I looked at it and I came to realize too that the stores are kind of ripping us off now. These big name stores that we have always been against, and then these like local stores are charging way much more money than what the item is actually worth. When you look at it, okay? The Pokeball tins, they are charged at $15 on the Pokemon website, okay? Now, there is a local card store I go to, and I buy cards from them, and it's actually kind of annoying me because we're being ripped off with this hobby. And this is why I stay away from the local card shops and all that right now, because they're charging $100 for a set that would naturally not go for $100, but it would go for $50 at the stores back in the day. So I think it's best to say that we should start rebelling against the people who are selling them at a really high price. If I was buying a Pokeball off a line, the Pokemon tin, I'd want it at 15, $20 because that's actually technically what they're rated at until later on down the line when they become worth more. But we're getting prices mixed up on items that are unopened. We're charging a couple $100 for an unopened pack of Pokemon cards that came out in the 90s, which people open up and they lose a whole bunch of money doing that. And it's like, this has become something else, and it's become something else in a bad way. Now, Magic the Gathering, the same thing. There's places I go where I started seeing, bundles, different types of bundles because of advertising. The Marble bundle is almost $80, but a standard bundle from Magic the Gathering without the advertisement of Marvel and their own brand, their own root brand, you're getting it at $65 a pop, a little over $50 sometimes. And it just goes to show you how messed up the market is right now on collecting any kind of memorabilia from shows you like, or any kind of memorabilia from, collections and, just things you loved growing up. And it's because people are getting collection value mixed up with the value to buy it still sealed. And that's what bothers me the most about this is like people aren't charging proper prices on things. A single pack of Pokemon cards should not go for more than $5 in my opinion. But of course you have places that are charging it at $7.99. $10 a pop, $11, $14 for a simple pack of Pokemon cards. I could go to the dollar store and get it $5 a pop. And that's the only place that's selling them at normal price anymore. Target pulled their head out of their butt and changed that a little bit. They're selling them at $4.99. Magic the Gathering, it's another messy area that the prices are just too high. And what are the prices high for? Well, I can sit there and think about one reason, but it's a stupid reason. But the cardboard outside the package of the booster pack you have. There's nothing else to collect there. What are you going to do? Collect the cover of the booster pack and you open it that way? Like, they're not going for anything on the market. The cards themselves inside the packages are worth more than the case it comes in. And that's what blows my mind about this. So this is a little food for thought for anybody out there collecting any sort of memorabilia or anything. We need to start coming to realize that these things are being priced way too much and we're being ripped off for the way they're priced because people going up and buying the bulk of them. And I'm hoping soon this trend of Pokemon buying and stuff like that just dies off because it's unacceptable. Okay, we got to a point where in Japan there's a ban on adults buying these items, which is completely understandable because some adults aren't collecting them. They're not doing anything with them. They're not opening the packs. They're selling the full-blown pack at a couple $100, a booster pack at a couple $100, and this is where the insanity takes over. This is why I don't go and buy too many older things, like package-wise, because it's unacceptable, okay? You're ruining the hobby, and as a local card store, you should be shut down for your prices on things, especially if you're going overboard with the price, charging us double for what the package is actually supposed to be worth originally. When you go on the website, check the website, the Pokemon Center website, and you can definitely see what I mean. Check everywhere else. Check Magic the Gathering. You can see that there's a problem there with pricing. And you can see that we need to rebel against this buying problem and have them lower the prices back to normal. But the people buying them the most are the ones who have their heads up their butts and so unaware of what the value actually is that they're trying to make a living off of it. And it's gotten to a point where it's gotten really bad and prices are just too high sometimes. And I only partake in buying Pokemon stuff if I only see it at the dollar store anymore because it's reasonably priced at the dollar store. And if I see it anywhere else and I look at the price and I see it at like 10, 11 bucks, 14 bucks as a booster pack, I'm not buying them. I'm not buying them because a whole starter deck would start off at 20 bucks back in the day. And that was a good reasonable price because you got the Mewtwo card with it. Or it depends on what set you got, but I remember you specifically got the Mewtwo card with the Psychic set, which was a cool deal to begin with when it started off. But people made it into something now that it's gotten to the point where it's really bad and there needs to be a stop to it. So, no, I don't know. I just wanted to make this video and I wanted to get this out to people because I've been looking at prices and it's just absurd what we're spending on some of this stuff. And that's why I only buy it from certain places anymore. But I'm not gonna lie, I do buy cards that are like higher in price. So because that's naturally what the value of the card is worth. So just some food for thought. But that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. If anything, please like start paying attention to what your prices are. Look around and see the value of things because we might be able to get this to go back to normal if people start pulling their heads out their butts. But till then, all right, game on, gamers, and take it easy.